Hello and welcome to CCTV Channel 17, Alice Corner, and today is April 20th, 2026. Today we are going to talk about partisan politics in the state of Vermont. As you all know, I was a former city councilor for the city of Burlington from 2017 to 2024, basically 6 years of service. It would be important for me to disclose a little bit what I think about partisan politics in the great state of Vermont. When I first ran as a city councilor, I was both a Democrat and a progressive. And back then, to tell you the truth, I had no idea what are the party dynamic, but people who supported me really explained to me that this is important and you can do a fusion candidate. So I ran and won a special election in 2017 and then ran again as a Democrat and progressive and again won, right? And it's on my third term that I decided to run as an independent. I did it because while I was a city councilor, it was very clear to me that partisan politics is what is holding our city back. We should focus more on bringing ideas, identifying solutions, and not play partisan politics. The friction of Democrats and progressives were apparent to me. And from my perspective, we were wasting a lot of time. At a city level and also at a ward level, what is more important to people is how do we support their basic needs met? Their roads, sidewalks, have less taxes, and have a great city management that will ensure their safety and their well-being. Mostly in every single door that I have knocked, that's exactly what people talked about, and not what party do you belong. Are you a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent? So in 2022, I decided to run as an independent, and that was exactly my last election, to show many people that actually it is possible to run as an independent and win. Talking about my history with partisan politics as a city councilor is not exactly what I want to talk about today. Today, I want to talk about what happened specifically during the appointment of Bob Hooper, who resigned over sexual allegations, and then the Democratic Party had to establish a process in which interested candidates can show up and also can make a demonstration. So I was one of the 4 people who were interested. And I submitted, in good faith, my application. They asked for less than 300 words. Are you qualified to do this job? And I stated my ground, what I have done, what I'm good at, and what I would do. And in that process, the Democratic Regional Committee, right, asked me one specific question. Am I going to caucus with the Democrats upon appointed by the governor? And my simple question was yes. And also they asked me the question, are you planning to run again to finish the term? And my answer again was yes. So submitted everything, and while waiting for a couple days, I received a text from Mark Barlow, who recently joined the Democratic Party. And Mark Barlow, amongst 3 other people, right, all residing in Ward 4, are the people who made that decision about who are they going to advance to the governor to be able to pick to replace Bob Hooper. I received a text from Mark Barlow telling me that you have all the credentials, but we will not advance you because the feeling, I said it very well, the feeling of the committee members are that you are not a Democrat. Just that response raised some eyebrows on me. I could not understand the reasoning behind, and I was really interested in what aspect they based that decision on. As we all know, in the state of Vermont, it is a state where democratic partisan politics is not allowed. Anyone registering to vote in the state of Vermont, the registration will not ask you, are you a Democrat, progressive, independent? No, we don't have Democrat. We don't have those type of procedures in the state of Vermont, right? So, how did they come up to that conclusion that Ali Jeng, one of the candidates, is not? So I really asked to Mark Barlow, who recently joined the Democratic Party, who were the committee members. And Mark did not answer me. I was persistent in understanding who exactly made that decision. And through that process, someone from the Democratic Party, Michael Sullivan, I believe, responded, letting me know that who are the committee members. And through research, I found that it was Mark Barlow, a couple living in the same exact house, and another person, basically 4 people. And all 4 of them reside in Ward 4. And as you know, also, if you're familiar with the New North End is composed of both Ward 4 and Ward 7. All the candidates who wanted to be appointed, who applied to be appointed, were all also resident of Ward 4. So basically, I was the only candidate residing in Ward 7. So when Sullivan explained to me exactly the people who made that decision, through research, I did find out that actually 2 of them are residing in the same household. So basically 50% of those people who made that decision are residing in the same household. So a decision was made for over 6,000 people, just for 4 people, and 50% of them reside in the same household. In any way that you look at it, this was not a very well-established process. This was not nice, right? This was not cool at all. As I stated with full disclosure, I am a Democrat. I pick up the Democratic ballot on town meeting day, if there is any, right? I supported a Democratic candidate, including Bob Hooper when he just ran in 2018, and especially when a sitting Democratic mayor did not appoint him but appointed his opponent. I stepped up to support Bob Hooper, the Democratic endorsed candidate, and who ended up winning. We became friends. We had a very good relationship, and in most of my candidacy as an independent, he also supported me. So basically, just to say that in the state of Vermont, it would be very hard to identify who's who. We know one of the governor, with the most vote in any of these recent gubernatorial elections is a Republican. People love his approach on issues. People support him, and therefore, why in a progressive state we are electing a Republican Democrat? Just to say that people really care more about your platform, your policy ideas, the way in which you operate in order for them to vote for you. But we should do everything that we can in order to bring that back to normal. All right. Now, people basically decided to move on with 3 people, with 3 candidates. All those 3 candidates were advanced. From my perspective, they were interviewed, but the governor did choose to not appoint any of them, but to appoint somebody else who will be able to finish the term. And Kevin Scully is a great person. I don't know if we have ever met, but anyone that I talked to about the governor's decision was truly happy, was truly amazed, was truly thankful that the governor of Vermont considered someone with so much community involvement, with someone who has done so much for the city as a former chief of the Burlington Police Department, and someone who continued to serve in the elections during town meeting day, someone who's highly respected. So we are very happy that the governor of Vermont was able to appoint Kevin Scully. Kevin Scully, there is nothing that we can say against him. Everybody across the board respect him. I don't know if I ever met him, but I respect him as well, and I wish him the best in doing this. I also appreciate the governor's approach on this, because it was a call from me and from many other people, I'm pretty sure, letting people know we need something democratic. I did even write to the governor's office asking them to consider leaving this seat vacant until town meeting day in November in order for the voters of Chittenden 18 to be able to vote, in good conscience, their next representative. All right. So that's where we are right now. I was not appointed. None of the three candidates who were advanced by the RDC were not appointed either. So Kevin, congratulations, and we're looking forward to your participation in the democratic process. Ladies and gentlemen, I did write an op-ed, an opinion ed to VT Digger. You can find it. The title is When Democrats Forget Democracy, Vermont Democratic Party claimed to champion inclusion, but a 4-person committee, all of whom live in the same ward and 2 under the same roof, just decided who gets to be elected. You can find it on Vermont VT Digger in order to read it fully. There's a lot of information right there. It would be important also for us, ladies and gentlemen, to go back a little bit and remember who we are as a city and also as a state. At the city level, ladies and gentlemen, you all know that the history of Bernie Sanders, right? What he has accomplished for the city of Burlington was just amazing, truly amazing. I think his first election, he won only by 10 votes, right? He was a highly respected and included people who even disagreed with him. Bernie Sanders did so well by creating the CEDO, Economic Development Office, right, for the city of Burlington. Bernie Sanders has done so much work, including building a lot of housing for vulnerable populations, right? That same Bernie Sanders right now, how many times have he tried to seek the Democratic endorsement in order to become the next president of the United States? If Bernie Sanders is also known as an independent, representing the state of Vermont at the Senate, right? But that same Bernie Sanders, ladies and gentlemen, was able to demonstrate what true leadership should look like and feel like, right? Whenever he wanted to run for president, he would go to the Democrat and try to seek their endorsement. He was not able to get it, and he was not able to ever run for president, okay? In the state of Vermont also, ladies and gentlemen, you know at the State House, we have how many candidates who are both Democrat and progressive. The fusion candidacy is accepted in the states, right? I don't think anybody should be able to block anyone because you don't feel that you belong to a party. The Democratic Party used to be a big tent, but now it has become a club for just few people. We have seen similar concerns already being raised at the lieutenant governor race, right? Brian against former lieutenant governor. You know, there are so many articles speaking about who is right and who is not right, why this candidate X is receiving the list of donors, is receiving the list of committee members, while the other candidate does not receive it. I am not saying that I am with Ryan or I am with anybody else, but I'm just saying that it is important for the Democratic Party to search back their soul and to make sure that this party is a welcoming, okay, is a welcoming and is a big tent for anybody who would like to participate in the democratic process, okay? How many times, if you know me very well, have I supported Democrat candidates at the city level? Most recent example is with Karen Paul when she tried to run to receive the Democratic endorsement to be the mayor. But the people showed up and the people decided to endorse Karen's opponent. And the rest is history. From there, Emma Mulvaney-Stenek, a progressive, also who used to be a Democrat and a progressive at the state level, right? So we are a small state. We are a city with only less than 45,000 people, okay? And we should make sure that we connect with the people directly and try to represent them at our fullest. We have seen also during Democratic or Progressive caucuses, you are allowed to pick one caucus, you are allowed to show up, and you are allowed to vote for a specific candidate. It's not allowed to show up in two different caucuses and vote, right? But even that, who exactly is monitoring someone hasn't voted into into caucuses, Democrat and Progressive? Who exactly is doing that? I think we need a lot of check and balances, and I hope that what happened to me with the endorsement, labeling me as an independent and not a Democrat, it's an opportunity and it's also a call for people to go back and see what was done very well and what was not done well. And from what was not done well, how do we learn from this and also make sure that it never happens before? From my perspective, it's all justice basically prevailed. The Democrats did not do it very well at the city level, and we hope that at state level and national level, the Democrats will understand that the Democratic Party is a big tent, and anyone who wants to serve, anyone who have the democratic ideal can come to the party, connect with the people, and have the chance to represent the people that they would want to represent. That's all I wanted to come here today and talk about it. And again, find the piece that I wrote for V.T. Digger, who is really a Democrat. Right? When Democrats forget democracy, right? I don't think that, I do think that it is an important read and call everybody to find it, letter to the editor, When Democrats Forget Democracy by Ali Jeng. Right? Thank you all so much, and we cannot thank you again enough. The CCTV Channel 17. Every single day, they are demonstrating how a community should look like and how media should work for the people. How many democratic forums do they organize here, right? How many town meeting editions have they covered for Chittenden, right? And all the other radios and televisions around town meeting doing great work across the state. We cannot thank you enough because we are bringing us together, right? We are making sure that the wheels of democracy will continue also to roll and to win. From my perspective, Vermont is a winner. Thank you again, Governor Scott, for the decision that you made about Scully. Congratulations, Scully. And town meeting day is very approaching in November, right? And we hope you again to show you, to see you, to participate, to make the state, the city, and the rest of the nation much better. It was Ali's Corner today at CCTV Channel 17. Thank you all so much for having us. Thank you.